Today, I'm going to be breaking down 5 different ways you can improve your lead quality from cold email outbound, and I'm going to rank them from least effective, which is actually what everyone tries to do, to most effective, which very few people try and do because it's difficult, but it's going to be the one that actually moves the needle. So just to paint a bit of a picture, lead quality means many different things to many different people. Lots of people who are new to outbound or they've never built an acquisition system that's worked for their business think that there's a pool of people out there with money that have a problem you can solve, that are just sitting there waiting for you to buy their stuff. And you just need to reach them, put your message in front of them, and then they'll buy your stuff. That is not the truth. There are people out there in the market you can help, and you need to persuade them, you need to manipulate them, you need to convince them that their money is best spent with you. Okay? That's the game here. The game here is finding a pool of people you can help, and there's probably hundreds of thousands of people you can help. So finding that list and then convincing them to spend their money with you. That is how outbound works. So to simplify, lead quality can be broken into 2 key categories. Are they someone you can help? Meaning, if they were willing to spend their money with you, would you bring on that client? Okay? And are they someone that wants your help? Okay? So, yes, there's someone that you could help, but they don't want your help. Okay? So, how do you tick both of those boxes? So, when you're thinking about if there's someone you could help, think about, revenue, size, location. Are you talking to the decision maker? These sorts of things. Think about, are they someone that wants your help? This is budget. Oh, they don't have budget for what they do, for what we do. Typically, that's not because they don't have budget. It's because they don't see value in what you do. You haven't convinced them to spend their money with you. Do they have an interest in what you do? Are they problem aware of the problem that you're solving? Do they show up for the call? Do they ghost you? Do they show up for the demo? Do they show up being super gruff and rude? These are all the things that go into if there's someone that wants your help. Okay? So filtering the lead list is what everyone tries to do to improve lead quality, and it does help to some extent, but we're going to say the bottom 10%. We typically will only filter out the lead list just to remove the really bottom of the barrel people on that lead list. Why? Because if you look at your lead list and you open all the URLs up in 15 different tabs, you're going to find that if this person wanted my help, I'll bring them on. Yeah, if this person wanted my help, I'll bring them on. So typically, you're using this as an excuse because you haven't been able to close and sell people. You haven't been able to convince them to buy your stuff. So you're going to say, hey, I need to talk to different people that do want to buy my stuff, instead of saying, hey, how can I convince these people to buy my stuff? Because that one's harder. Okay, so you can filter the lead list. If you're doing a Google Maps scrape, an easy way to do this is filter by number of Google reviews, because if they've got very little reviews, then they're likely to be a smaller company. A better way to do this, but a more complex way to do this, is to use something like Clay. You don't have to use Clay, but you're going to be using an AI to essentially, you're going to have your ideal customer profile, your ICP, and what I would say is build that off just looking at these websites, meaning that look at 10 of your current clients or 10 of your ideal clients. What's all the information on their website? Do they have a Teams page? Do they do certain types of jobs? How's it sort of laid out? And then you're going to say, hey, this is what the website of my ideal client looks like. Have a look at this prospect's website, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how closely do they match? Okay? And you're going to use AI to do that, and then you're going to filter out the ones that don't match very well. Okay, cool. So filtering the lead list. This is going to be the most, I want to say, ineffective, because if you haven't done this, you can still, the people that you do want to talk to are typically still on that list. So if someone's like, hey, I've talked to like heaps of people, but like none of them, they're all small businesses, so I'm going to filter out the list, and then you look at the list and you do some filtering. The big businesses were on that list in the first place. They just weren't interested in what you had to do and didn't get on the phone. So this is what everyone tries to do, but I would again say this is not the most effective and arguably the least effective. Add better reminder sequences. So some people do forget about the initial call, or the discovery call. So adding reminder sequences is important here. And I would say for cold outbound, it's compulsory to have text reminders. Otherwise, people are going to forget the call. Why? Because it's not very high value to them. I would say it's very low value to them. Unless your offer is absolutely amazing. Yes, maybe at the time they got the email, there's somewhat of an interest enough to book in a call, but 45 minutes later, their daughter stubs their toe and now your call is completely irrelevant compared to the next thing, all right? So make sure you have reminder sequences because it's going to fall down the priority list extremely quickly unless your offer is absolutely amazing. This is a big one. Respond faster and book calls in sooner. So like I was saying, you've got an offer, someone's replied positively, they're interested. That interest will decrease over time and it will decrease rapidly over time. So if you can respond to a positive reply within 5 minutes and find a time and day for a call and a phone number to reach them on and book that in for the next day, you're going to have way more people answer the phone, know what they're talking about, be interested in what you do, than if you wait 2 days to book the call and book the call in for another 2 days after that. They're probably not going to even know who you are. Okay, so it's the same lead with the same message. One of them is a bad fit and I need to fix my lead list. One of them is interested in what you do. Why? Because you responded quicker. Nothing to do with the lead list at all. So you can see how just responding faster increases the quality of the call without changing who the person is, what their company is, what their budget is, all right? What you do, what your offer is. None of these things need to change, but if you respond faster, you're going to increase the quality of the call, and that's why it's so much higher on this list. So the next one is a huge one that very few people that we work with actually know how to do this, and that's doing a discovery call and having a demo built for cold outbound. So most people have dealt with incoming, word of mouth, website form fills, and now they're trying to solve outbound, and they use that same process that they used to deal with these leads to deal with these leads, and it just does not work at all, and they think it's an outreach problem or a lead gen problem, when really it's a sales process problem. Why? Because when you are dealing with inbound inquiries, you're already viewed as an expert, you have some level of rapport, you've got some level of status where you can position yourself up here and as an authority, and for a lot of sales, you're more of an order taker. Their auntie saying that you're amazing, or their business partner who's been watching your YouTube videos for 17 years said that they have to work with you, and so they've already made that sales decision. You don't have to convince them. They've already convinced themselves or gone through some process themselves of being convinced. When you're dealing with cold outbound, not only are they not convinced, they're skeptical. So you need a sales process that takes someone from being skeptical to liking you and being interested to seeing that spending their money with you is a good investment. So your process has to take them through that, right? If you use an inbound process that doesn't move the needle like that, then they're just going to stay skeptical. And you're going to be like, I sent these people a proposal, like none of these people are getting back to me, they're all ghosting me. It's because you haven't done anything to convince them that they should be spending their money with you. So we do a 2-step close, a discovery call, a triage call, an intro call, which is the initial first talk that you have with the prospect. And the goal of that is to build some rapport. So they're like, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. He's asking lots of questions. I've been talking a lot. I like him, or her. And then you book in a video call where you recap the discovery call, make them like you again, and then show how what you do can make them more money than what they're going to pay you. Okay? So that's the 2-step close. And the biggest one here, and everyone should know this is the biggest one because it's obvious, improve your offer. The number one way to have better lead quality is to have something that people want to buy. So you can say you've got a lead quality problem. Another way to look at that is none of these people want to buy your shit. Your stuff is not appealing to them. So you can change the them, but as we've discussed, there is no them out there that already wants to buy your stuff. So you can't actually change the them. So what can you do? You can change what you sell. So figure out what your market wants to buy and sell them that. That is how you improve lead quality. Okay, a little example is we had an agency and we helped restaurants, right? And we helped get them more bums on seats. And then through working with hundreds of them, we found that something that was more desirable is helping them get more weekday functions, weekday corporate events with local businesses. And with the same people, our lead quality was way higher because we changed what we sold, and everyone wants to buy more weekday corporate events. Okay? So all that we changed was what we sell, not who we sell it to, not how we sell, not how quickly we reply, not the reminders, not the lead list. We just changed what we sell. Okay? So hopefully this paints a picture of 5 ways to improve your lead quality on cold email. If you've got any questions, please just leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. See you in the next video. Peace.